This is Akashvani. In the program Spotlight, now we bring you a discussion on National Disaster Management Authority guidelines for prevention and management of cold wave. The participants are Krishna S. Vatsa, member NDMA, and Omvesh Upadhyay, anchor.
Listeners, as winter tightens its grip, we delve into a vital discussion on the recently issued cold wave advisory. The Indian Meteorological Department has forecasted that the dip in temperatures are likely to abate from 25th January. Northern India experienced severe cold wave conditions for the first time this winter. Train and flight operations continue to remain affected in several parts of North India due to dense fog as a result of the cold wave. Experts have cited the reason that clear skies and the availability of a significant amount of moisture have been contributing to the cold and foggy conditions. This severe chill was also felt in some parts of Bihar, West Rajasthan, isolated pockets of Punjab, Haryana, North Madhya Pradesh, Uttarakhand and East Rajasthan. Today we will unravel key insights, preparedness measures and expert advice to navigate through the chilling temperatures and to shed light on how we can collectively face the challenges posed by the cold waves. We are joined by Krishna S. Vatsa, member NDMA. Welcome to the program, Mr. Vatsa.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Vatsa, to begin the discussion, could you please share for our listeners' knowledge that what factors contribute to the issuance of cold wave advisory and how severe are the expected weather conditions right now?
So right now, in some parts of the country, we are experiencing cold wave. The incidence of cold wave is determined on the basis of the average temperature for a region during the winters. Whenever the average temperature for a particular month dips or goes down, which is below about 4 to 5 or 6 degree below the average temperature, then we have a situation of cold wave. And if it is less than 6 degree or 6.5 degree, then we have a severe cold wave. So it is the temperature varies from one area to another. So the threshold for a cold wave also varies from one region to another. But right now, as you know, that in several parts of the country, we have a cold wave and we have extreme winter, and we need to take all the precautions.
So in that case, Mr. Vatsa, what is actually the alert system and how does NDMA work in synergy with other departments to issue the alert or advisory?
See, the advisories are issued by the Indian Meteorological Department, which is our premier early warning agency. They are giving us the forecast for temperature, and based on the forecast, we are in touch with the state governments, and the state governments in turn inform the districts. So, and at the level of the districts, essential precautions are taken for protecting people from cold wave. So that's the kind of the protocol that we observe for protecting ourselves against cold wave.
And then can you please provide an overview of the cold wave advisory issued by the NDMA and what specific regions does it cover? What are the do's and don'ts?
Well, it covers all the states which are experiencing winter. And we convene meeting of all these states and ask them to prepare action plans to deal with cold wave. What we do is that we tell them that these plans need to be prepared at the district level, and the districts need to take all the possible actions to protect people. It includes the necessary advisories that are issued at the district level. It also includes certain facilities that need to be provided to accommodate people who are not able to deal with extreme winter on their own. So, for example, we need to start night shelter. Somewhere we need to start the open kind of heating systems, so we bring wood and then set the fire so that, people can experience the heat. So these are some of the local arrangements that are made as the cold wave action plan at the district level. And the NDMA actually just works with the state government so that they are prepared for these eventualities.
Mr. Vatsa, you talked about cold wave action plan for districts and also highlighted how states are informed about this well in time. Can you please also share with our listeners that are there any specific measures that are advised for individuals or communities or vulnerable populations such as elderly, children, or those who are not able to gather the facilities to safeguard themselves against the cold wave?
First, stay indoors and keep yourself warm. Avoid variations in temperature. Keep yourself hydrated. Eat warm or hot food. And dress yourself in layers of clothes. These are some of the things that you should do to keep yourself protected against winter.
Mr. Vatsa, how is the authority working to communicate the advisory effectively?
We are issuing the advisory at the district level, and we also put it through the media channels. People must keep themselves safe.
In that case, Mr. Vatsa, how the National Disaster Management Authority coordinate with meteorological departments and other relevant agencies to monitor and assess the evolving cold wave conditions? Because we know that in north, the winters come around last week of October or from November month, and then people might experience this till the time of February. But what specific conditions are there that we consider a time as cold wave, and how do NDMA assess that?
As I mentioned, we keep a tab on the temperature. We monitor temperature, and whenever the temperature goes below by 4 to 6 degree, below the average temperature for that month and for that region, in that case, we issue the advisory for the cold wave. So we reach out to that particular state and ask them that they should take all the possible precautions at the district level to protect people.
Absolutely. And if we look beyond the current advisory, Mr. Vatsa, what long-term strategies is the NDMA considering to enhance resilience and preparedness for future cold waves and extreme weather events?
The cold waves are for a few days. So the important thing is that we need to have a standard operating procedure. Whenever there are days when the temperature goes down abnormally, we need to take precautions. These are the temperature variations, and we just need to adapt ourselves better. We need to protect ourselves, and more so, we need to keep the vulnerable population very safe. For example, we should not ask the elderly people to venture out in the cold weather. We should ask them to avoid sharp variations in temperature, and maybe they should keep themselves adequately clothed, adequately protected, and keep drinking a lot of water to keep themselves hydrated.
Absolutely. And in recent time, Mr. Vatsa, we have seen that authorities were working along with telecom operators to share alert messages and warnings on SMS as well. So is the similar thing also there for cold waves as well, and how the whole system?
We disseminate the information. We receive the information from the IMD. IMD on its own sends information to all the relevant states. The states in turn transmit these messages to the districts.
The similar thing will also happen if there is a cold wave in certain states or places.
Yes, so IMD is issuing advisories to all the states. We also reach out to all the states.
Mr. Vatsa, here I am also curious to know about the situation and factors how the authorities consider cold wave differently in mountain areas and in plains, because the situation might be different, right? So how do you analyze these state-specific or terrain-specific?
So the average temperature for winter months is very different for the hilly states compared to the states in the plain. Whenever there is a dip in the temperature compared to the average temperature of that particular state, we are considering cold wave for that particular state. So for every state, the average temperature varies, and accordingly, the threshold for cold wave also varies.
Absolutely. And if we talk about the preparedness for actions regarding the cold wave, what NDMA along with the other departments prepare if we consider especially about cold waves?
Ahead of the winter, we are convening meetings with all the states. We ask them to prepare action plans, and we ask them to work with the districts so that these advisories, action plans, and the various measures are taken at the local level. These are the measures that are planned and implemented at the level of the towns and villages. So we need to be locally responsive, and all the measures that need to be taken at the local level.
All right. And as you said, Mr. Vatsa, that we coordinate with the local level. So what are the nodal departments or people through which state and districts are coordinated and informed on time?
This is at the state level, it is the State Disaster Management Authority, and at the district level, it is the District Disaster Management Authority. The district administration is actually responsible for implementing the cold wave action plan.
Absolutely. And as we enter the concluding stage of our program, Mr. Vatsa, I want to know from you that what are the situations due to which we experience cold waves? Are these westerly winds or some sea disturbances?
It could be various situations. Sometimes there is snowfall, and that's why the temperature goes down. Sometimes there are some disturbances, and that's why the westerly disturbances you mentioned, that also reduces the temperature. So this could be related to the larger weather systems.
Can we consider that due to the climate crisis or the situation that we are seeing right now, many experts are saying the issues like El Nino and all that. So does these conditions also affect the frequency and impact of cold waves or heat waves in summers, as we can say?
It does. There are some variations. For example, the winter can set in late, or say you may experience much less cold in December and much severe cold in the month of January. So the intra-seasonal variations may increase, and you may experience some of these things during the days when you least expect them to.
Recently, we have seen this issue of fog, or we can say cold wave in Delhi, and also in some parts of UP as well. So are there any specific guidelines or measures for certain states where this might be a challenge to maintain or regulate the communities?
We are issuing advisory for all these states which are experiencing severe winter, and this applies mostly to the states in the northern India and hilly parts of the country.
And then these states are considered as core cold wave zones, right?
There is no such thing like core cold wave zone, but these are the states that are likely to experience more cold wave.
So we do understand, Mr. Vatsa, that authorities are doing very well on their part in regulating, issuing advisory and helping people to safeguard themselves against the cold wave. But what are the precautions that they should take? You already mentioned that in the discussion. But are there any fatal or big illness that one might experience if he encounters cold wave?
The elderly people may experience stroke or some such health consequences, and in which case they need to get medical assistance.
So, in conclusion, Mr. Vatsa, can we say that these wave advisory in India highlighted the severity of the weather conditions and provided crucial information to help listeners stay safe? You very beautifully also emphasized the importance of preparedness. These discussions underscored the need for individuals to follow recommended guidelines, stay informed about weather updates, and take necessary precautions to mitigate the impact of the cold wave. On that note, and with your insightful inputs, we conclude the program. Thank you so much, Mr. Vatsa, for joining us today on Akashvani.
Thank you.
You were listening to a discussion on National Disaster Management Authority guidelines for prevention and management of cold wave. The participants were Krishna S. Vatsa, member NDMA, and Omvesh Upadhyay, anchor. This program was produced and presented by the News Services Division of Akashvani. You can listen to it on our mobile app, News on AIR. This program is also available on our YouTube channel, News on AIR Official. You may share your feedback about this program through email at airnsdtalks@gmail.com or WhatsApp on 9289094044.